Welcome, gentlemen, to a video that might just change the way you see yourself and the world around you. Today, we're diving deep into a truth that many men avoid facing. There are certain types of men women consistently reject, not because of their looks, their wealth, or their status, but because of something far more primal, something rooted in character. This isn't about blame or shame. It's about empowerment through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Picture this. A man stands at a crossroads, torn between who he is and who he could become, while the world watches, judges, and moves on. What separates the men who thrive from those who falter? In the next few minutes, we'll uncover 5 types of men women instinctively turn away from, and why. This isn't just a list, it's a mirror. It's a chance to reflect, to grow, and to master yourself. If you're ready to break free from patterns holding you back, hit that subscribe button now, because this message isn't just for you. It's for every man who needs to hear it. Let's spread this wisdom together. Stick around. Your transformation starts here. Let's start with the weak-willed man. This is the guy who bends like a reed in the wind at the slightest push. He lacks the backbone to stand for anything. His principles, his desires, even his own dignity. Stoicism teaches us that true strength isn't in muscles or bravado. It's in the will. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. But the weak-willed man, he's a slave to outside forces. When a woman tests his resolve, maybe she challenges his opinion or throws a playful jab, he crumbles. He agrees to keep the peace, even when it means betraying himself. Women don't reject him because he's nice. They reject him because he's unreliable. A man without a firm will is like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly, unable to steer through life storms. Deep down, she knows she can't trust him to lead, to protect, or to hold steady when it counts. And trust? That's the bedrock of attraction. The weak-willed man thinks he's being accommodating, but he's just signaling weakness. Stoicism calls us to cultivate discipline, to decide what we stand for and hold fast, no matter the pressure. Imagine a man who says no when it matters, who owns his choices without apology. That's the man who commands respect. The weak-willed man fades into the background because he never dares to step forward. Gentlemen, ask yourself, are you bending too easily? Are you trading your strength for approval? If so, it's time to forge a will of iron. This isn't about arrogance, it's about self-mastery. Women don't want to push over. They want a partner with conviction. Subscribe if you're ready to build that strength. Share this with a brother who needs it. Let's keep going. Next up is the emotional slave. This man is a prisoner to his feelings, tossed around by every high and low like a leaf in a storm. One minute he's ecstatic, the next he's crushed, and everyone around him feels the whiplash. Stoicism doesn't tell us to kill our emotions. It tells us to master them. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The emotional slave doesn't get this. When a woman rejects him, he spirals, obsessing over what he did wrong, drowning in self-pity, or lashing out in anger. She sees it, he's not in control, and that's terrifying. A man who can't govern his emotions can't be a rock for anyone else. Women aren't rejecting him because he feels. They're rejecting him because his feelings rule him. Picture this. She says something sharp, and instead of staying calm, he erupts or sulks. That's not strength, it's chaos. The stoic man, though, he breathes, he reflects, he responds with clarity. He knows emotions are signals, not masters. The emotional slave clings to every mood swing, making her feel like she's babysitting instead of connecting. Over time, she drifts away, not out of cruelty, but survival. No one wants to anchor their life to a sinking ship. Gentlemen, this is your wake-up call. Train your mind to rule your heart. not the other way around. Start small. Next time you're upset, pause. Ask, is this worth my peace? It's not about being cold, it's about being steady. Women are drawn to stability, to a man who can weather the storm without breaking. If you're tired of being at the mercy of your emotions, hit subscribe. Let's spread this lesson far and wide. Share this with a man caught in the same trap. You're not alone, and you don't have to stay this way. Let's master ourselves together and move on to the next flaw. Now, let's talk about the approval seeker. This man lives for the nod of others, especially women. He's a chameleon, shifting his words, his actions, even his identity, just to hear you're enough. Stoicism teaches us that our worth comes from within, not from a crowd. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. But the approval seeker can't stomach that. He's terrified of disapproval, so he molds himself to fit her expectations, or what he thinks they are. Maybe she mentions she likes confident guys, so he fakes swagger until he's a caricature. She senses the inauthenticity a mile away. Women reject him not because he's trying to please, but because he's hollow. There's no core, no substance, just a mirror reflecting what he thinks she wants. Over time, she tires of the game. She wants a man, not a puppet. The approval seeker doesn't see that chasing validation is a trap. It's a bottomless pit. Stoicism calls us to stand tall in our own judgment, to act with virtue regardless of applause. Imagine a man who speaks his truth, who doesn't flinch when she disagrees. He's magnetic because he's real. The approval seeker, though, he's exhausting, always fishing for praise, never satisfied. Gentlemen, ask yourself, are you living for her smile or your own principles? Break free. Decide who you are and own it. Women respect a man who respects himself first. That's not arrogance, it's integrity. If this hits home, subscribe now. Let's build a community of men who don't beg for approval, but earn respect through character. Share this with a friend who's stuck in this cycle. We've got 3 more types to uncover, so stick with me. This journey's just heating up. Here's the 4th type, the indecisive drifter. This man floats through life like a cloud, never landing, never choosing. He's paralyzed by options, where to go, what to say, how to act, and women see it. Stoicism demands we take control of what's ours, our choices. Marcus Aurelius wrote, it's not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. The indecisive drifter hasn't begun. He hesitates when it's time to approach her, waffles when it's time to plan, and shrugs when it's time to lead. She rejects him not because he's incapable, but because he's uninspiring. A woman doesn't want to drag a man through life. She wants someone who knows where he's going, even if he's wrong sometimes. Indecision reeks of fear, and fear kills attraction. Picture this. She asks, what do you want to do? And he mumbles, I don't know, you pick. Every time, she feels the weight shift to her shoulders. The stoic man decides. He weighs his options, trusts his judgment, and moves forward. He's not reckless, he's resolute. The drifter, though, he's a passenger in his own story, waiting for someone else to steer. Over time, she loses faith. He can't even lead himself, let alone a partnership. Gentlemen, this is your call to action. Make decisions, own them, and learn from them. Start small. Pick your next step today and commit. Women are drawn to purpose, to a man with direction. If you're drifting, it's time to grab the wheel. Hit subscribe if you're ready to chart your course. Share this with a brother who's lost in the haze. We're almost to the end, but there's one more man to meet. Stay with me. Finally, we have the man who fears rejection. This guy's paralyzed by the no he hasn't even heard yet. He won't approach, won't speak, won't risk, because what if she turns him down? Stoicism teaches us to embrace what we can't control. Epictetus said, "There's only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." Rejection? That's her choice, not his failing. But this man sees it as a death blow to his worth. Women reject him not because he's unworthy, but because he never shows up. He's a ghost, hiding in the shadows of his own fear. When he does step forward, it's timid, half-hearted. She feels the hesitation and pulls back. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite it. The Stoic man knows this. He approaches with dignity, accepts the outcome, and moves on. Rejection doesn't define him. His response does. The fearful man, though, he's trapped in a cycle. He fears rejection, so he avoids risk, so he never grows, so he fears more. She senses that stagnation. It's a quiet repellent. Imagine a man who says, "I'll ask her out, and if she says no, I'll still be me." That's power. That's freedom. Gentlemen, rejection isn't your enemy. Fear is. Face it head on. Next time you hesitate, act instead. Win or lose, you'll gain strength. Women admire boldness, even if they don't say yes. If this resonates, subscribe now. Let's build a tribe of fearless men. Share this with someone who's hiding from the no. You've got the tools now, use them. Let's wrap this up. So there you have it, 5 men women always reject: the weak-willed, the emotional slave, the approval seeker, the indecisive drifter, and the man who fears rejection. These aren't just flaws, they're chains. Stoicism offers the key. Master your will, your emotions, your worth, your choices, your courage. This isn't about pleasing women. It's about becoming the man you're meant to be. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe yourself everything. Start today. Pick one of these traps and break it. If this video lit a spark, hit subscribe. Let's keep this fire burning. Like it, share it with a brother who needs to hear this. Together, we can spread this wisdom, empower men, and build something unbreakable. You're not alone on this path. Thanks for watching. Now go out there and live with purpose. See you in the next one.